If you want to sound more natural or native-like in American English, or you just want to improve your listening ability for real speech, then today's lesson is going to help you do that because we are going to be learning about one of the most important details about the TH sound, which is the dental T or D variation. Hi, I'm Josh, your American English guide, and this is English Hacks Pronunciation, where I help you to sound like a native if you want, and to understand real, natural American speech better. First, let me say that if you want to learn the basics of the TH sounds, you can watch the main lesson, or if you want to learn more about the full range of how to produce the TH sounds, then you can watch the lesson for that. Both of those are linked in the description. So what is this dental T or D variation of the TH sound, and why haven't you heard about it from other teachers? Well, the dental T or D is a variation of the TH sounds in American English, where instead of having the tongue be here close to the teeth or going through the teeth, you actually put it flat on the top teeth, and this creates a T or D that sounds flat. The. This is not the normal T or D in English. In other languages like Spanish, this placement of T and D is just the normal way that you make the T or D in those languages. In English, we're actually up here, T, D, for the normal T or D. But in American English, if you do a dental T or D, it will be interpreted by the ears of a native speaker as a TH sound, not as a T or D sound. Note that this is not informal. This is a perfectly common and normal variation of how to create the TH sounds that most native speakers aren't even aware of. Also note that you don't have to put the tongue flat on the teeth. As long as you make it dull or flat sounding, you can actually be up here around where the normal T and D are, but you want to make your tongue flatter, T, D. Now be careful, the dental T and D cannot replace a normal T and D in English. For example, if you say tell, but you make it flatter and you say tell, or the word dog, but instead you say dog, this will sound unnatural and it will give you an accent. The only time that you can replace a normal T or D with a dental or flatter T or D is if you're linking and the previous sound or the next sound in the combination is a TH. And lastly, do not, I repeat, do not replace the TH sounds of any kind with a normal T or D. This sounds very uneducated and or informal. For example, don't pronounce though as dough, and don't pronounce think as tink. Instead, if you use the dental T or D, not the regular T or D, you can say though as though, not dough, though, and you can pronounce think as think, not tink, think. It can be a little difficult to hear the difference between the dental D and the normal D. That's okay, natives will notice the difference. Is there a special time that you can and can't use the dental T or D version of the TH sounds? Most of the time this will happen at the start of a word or when linking, but it can happen in other places. Let's look at some examples, and we're going to go through this for the voiceless TH and the voiced TH. We're going to look at THs at the start, in the middle, and at the end of a word, and then a little later we're going to look at some linking and some other things and how all of that fits together. With the voiceless TH, we're going to replace it with a dental T because the voiceless TH is voiceless and T is voiceless. Think, thought, think, thick, through. In the middle of a word, author, Kathy, pithy, without. At the end of a word, math, breath, width, faith, teeth. Now for the voiced TH, we're going to use the dental D because D is voiced. So at the start of a word, this, that, these, those, the, them, they, there. In the middle of a word, other, father, weather, breathing, soothing. And at the end of a word, seed, breathe, soothe, bathe. Now let's look at some linking examples and see how things flow. For the voiceless TH or the dental T at the start of a word, I think so. I think so. He thought about it. He thought about it. You thank him. You thank him. How thick is it? How thick is it? Pass through. Pass through. And at the end of a word, math is hard. Math is hard. My breath goes faster. My breath goes faster. With what? With what? My faith will last. My faith will last. His teeth are rotten. His teeth are rotten. For the voiced TH or dental D at the start of a word, what's this? What's this? Pick that up. Pick that up. Do you have these in green? Do you have these in green? Leave those behind. Leave those behind. Have the energy. Have the energy. We like them. We like them. Are they going? Are they going? At the end of a word, breathe out of your nose. Breathe out of your nose. They soothed my anxiety. They soothed my anxiety. He doesn't bathe very often. He doesn't bathe very often. Now let's look at some combinations between regular T or D and the THs. And remember, this is where you can actually replace the normal T or D with dental T or D because of the linking. This will also include if we have a TH to a TH. No bad thoughts. No bad thoughts. What they want is peace. What they want is peace. I hate throwing balls. I hate throwing balls. One path that is right. One path that is right. Breathe that fresh air. Breathe that fresh air. Faith thought she was right. Faith thought she was right. Breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. Now note that part of the trick here is you need to still switch between voiced and voiceless. So if it's like a D to a voiceless TH, like bad thoughts, first bad, okay, put it here in this special case instead of here. But then when you release it, you don't want to keep it as a voiced D and release it like the. You want to release it as the, dental T. If you're going from voiced to voiceless or voiceless to voiced, like D to voiceless TH or T to voiced TH, then you do have to turn the voice on and off as needed. Now as a bonus, there's one very special detail here, which is the dental N. And this is very specific. If you have an M sound or an N sound and you're linking to a voiced TH, what you can do is you can, instead of doing a dental D, you can simply do a dental N. Now what does that mean? The T, D, and N in English are all up here. N, T, D. The N is nasal, the T is voiceless and gets pushed, and the D is voiced and gets pushed. When we do the dental, we know about T, the dental T, D, the dental D, but also if you just hold it here and let it go through the nose, that becomes a dental N. Now the difference in sound between a normal N and a dental N is very small, but it has a big effect on linking. Let's look at some examples and how this can change what a native speaker will understand. On the table. On the table. So notice I'm just pulling that N off. On the. Now if you do a normal N up here, instead of sounding like on the, we will interpret it as on a table, on the table. This little difference in position, even though the N itself doesn't sound all that different, if you leave from here or you leave from here, a native speaker will hear a difference and interpret this one as a TH, this one as an N. Even though there's actually no TH, there's no T or D sound being used at all, dental or non-dental. It's just an N transitioning into the next position. So it's pretty cool, right? Another example, the one that I like. The one that I like. Now you could still use the dental D here. If you say on the table, that's fine, but you don't have to. You can use the dental N. If you say the one that I like, one that, you push out that dental D, that's also okay, but you don't need it. You can just release that N position. Nah. One more example here with N. Can they do it? Can they? Or you can push out that dental D again. Can they? Either way is fine. Now what about with M? Going from M to voiced TH, we can say from there. So what's happening here is you still have that M. Okay, you're going to close your lips into the M sound. But instead of doing the, right, or the, which you can still do either one of those, it doesn't matter, from there, instead, you can go to this dental position, and instead of pushing out that dental D, just release through the nose, okay? From there, that's it, from there. Again, don't go up here and say from there. That sounds a little bit different. It's like, what's there? But if you go here, we're going to interpret it as a TH, not as an N. A couple more examples. Tell him that. Tell him that. Calm the baby. Calm the baby. Don't say calm na baby. That sounds very unnatural. If you have any questions or you want more content related to the dental T or D version of the TH sounds, let me know. And thank you guys so very much for watching another English Hacks lesson. I will see you in the next one.